We are announcing a new initiative called our Faith in Families Initiative, which is very focused on aggressive goals to hit by 2015. We want to reduce the number of kids in foster care by 1,000. We want to reduce the time kids spend in care, and we want to ensure that all of our children exit foster care with a permanent family connection.
How will the program work?
The program will work. We'll work with lots of community partners, faith-based organizations, a community initiative, judges, DAs, all of us driving towards these same outcomes.
What kind of success have you seen in reducing the number of children in foster care over the last several years?
Over the last 5 years, DCFS has seen a reduction in the number of kids in foster care by about 22%, and we expect that to continue, again, with this goal of reducing by 25% more the number of kids in care.
How have you been able to accomplish that?
We continue to do that with partnerships. We continue to use best practices and tools to work with families. We continue to address quality improvements and identify services and everything that is needed to wrap around families and to make sure that they can get the services that they need so kids can either return home, which a large percentage of our kids do, or to work aggressively to find adoptive families for those children. Good morning. Good morning and welcome on this beautiful day in Monroe. We're thrilled to be here today at the Baptist Children's Home to announce a new initiative with the Department of Children and Family Services. I'm Susie Saunier, and the Secretary of the Department. And here behind me, a lot of our team members, our staff, and our partners and friends. So we're pleased to be here today to announce a new child welfare initiative that focuses on creating lasting connections for children who spend time in protective care and continuing the improvements the state has seen in its foster care system over the last few years. For example, we have worked closely with the Child Welfare National Resource Center for Child Protective Services, the National Resource Center on Legal and Judicial Issues, the Court Improvement Program, Casey Family Programs, and the Children's Research Center to develop and implement advanced safety practices for our work with families throughout the life of each child protection case. We have launched an advanced safety model in 3 regions of the state, Monroe, Alexandria, and Baton Rouge, and expect to continue rolling it out through the rest of the state in the coming year. In addition, we will expand advanced safety practices in our work in the foster care program as well. Our advanced safety work is integrated into the overall responsibility to assess safety risk and family functioning and to develop a case plan that reduces safety threats and improves caregiver protective capacity. We have also integrated this advanced level of safety assessment into our centralized intake process so that we are able to take the most appropriate action. We've made great strides in the last 5 years. We've reduced the number of children in foster care from 5,128 in April of 2007 to 4,007 in February of 2013. That is a reduction of 22% in the past 6 years. We have decreased the average stay for children in foster care from 27 months in June of 2005 to 18.7 months in February of 2013. And we have reduced the number of children in foster care that are in residential type facilities from 669 in June of 2005 to 245 in 2013, in February 2013, a reduction of 63%. Let me just provide for you a quick snapshot of those kids who are served today in foster care. Last year, we served a little over 7,700 children in foster care. At any one time, there are around 3,900 children in the foster care system in Louisiana. When we drill down and look at the children we serve in foster care last year, around 3,700 were white, 3,600 African American, and a little over 350 in other races. 33% of the children served in foster care last year were under age 2, and 67% were ages 8 and younger. Of the 3,900 children currently in foster care, 706 of them are aged 15 to 17 and will age out of the foster care system soon. Of those, 188 of them are 17 years old and will age out of care within this year. So look around you today and think back to when you were 17. Many of you were getting ready to graduate high school, looking forward to college. Those were exciting but also scary times. But you most likely had a family connection that you could turn to and rely on for support. For those 188 children, youth getting ready to age out of care next year, they won't likely have these family supports. They most likely will have a difficulty finding out and figuring out how to pay for and live and find a place to live and get a job. They don't know what the future holds. We had a wonderful story of a judge here in Louisiana who talked about a young woman that she had met. The young woman was 27 years old, had aged out of foster care, was extremely successful, and they were talking, and she shared a story, and she said, "What is it that you would have wanted? What is it that you would change? What would you want me to know about the system?" And she said, "I just wish I had been adopted. Here I am at 27, I just got a job, a promotion in my job, and I don't have anyone to call. I don't have anyone to celebrate those successes with. I don't have anyone to share the ups and downs of life with, because I never did get that long-term family connection." We also had an opportunity to meet a young man named Alex in the New Orleans area, and he shared his story of being part of our system. He had been in the foster care system. His parents were substance abusers and were unable to take care of him. He went through our system, and he even joined the ranks of the juvenile justice system. But he came out, and he was really working to make a difference in his life. And what did he do? The first thing he wanted to do was go home and find his biological family, find his parents, and identify what was going on, and let them be a part of his life and a part of his successful future going forward. Today we are announcing an initiative, Faith in Families, that addresses how we as a state and what we as a state can do in a community to provide supports for those youth earlier in care. DCFS's Faith in Families initiative seeks to reduce the number of children in foster care safely, continue to decrease the amount of time children spend in the system, and ensure that each child has a permanent connection when they leave foster care. First, reducing the number of children in foster care. By 2005, our goal is to safely reduce the number of children in foster care by 1,000. That is reducing it by 1/4. We also want that 95% of those children returning home will not return to foster care. Clearly, if we're going to safely reduce the number of kids in care, we've got to make sure that they don't face repeat maltreatment. This ensures we give those families the tools that they need to be productive families, that they can provide a safe environment for that child. And our goal is that child can live a happy, productive life with no need from further involvement from the Department of Children and Family Services. Second, we want to reduce the amount of time in foster care. By 2015, we want 85% of our children to exit foster care within 24 months of entering, either through reunification with family or through adoption. We want to exceed the national standard of 37% by having at least half, 50% of our kids adopted within 24 months. We want to meet the national standard of 75.2% of children being reunified with their family within 12 months. Our third goal is that all children exiting foster care do so with a permanent connection. By 2015, 95% of all children exiting foster care will do so with a permanent connection, a permanent placement. Either that is reunification with their family, or adoption, or potentially even legal guardianship. They won't age out of foster care. They won't age out of foster care without a permanent family support. All children will do so with a permanent connection. We'll work with the faith-based community, nonprofit and community organizations such as those here today, mentorships. We want to recruit and develop more foster parents. A very, very large number of our kids go into foster homes that are interested in adoption from the very beginning, and we need to continue to identify those. Today, we have about 2,000 foster parents for those 3,900 youth that we talked about earlier. Standing here on the beautiful grounds of the Baptist Children's Home, this is the type of partnership that we're looking for in this type of initiative. The Baptist Children's Home is working with churches throughout the state to establish foster care support ministries, mentoring programs, relief activities, foster parents, training, etc. They are working to increase the number of regular certified families. They are doing recruitment of trauma-focused foster homes and maternity homes with aftercare services for the mother and the child. To help ensure all parties are working towards our goal, staff in each region throughout the state should be reaching out to law enforcement, hospitals, district attorneys, and judges to build and strengthen our relationship with each other and with community partners throughout the state as we work together to support families. It's time to look at things differently in social services. DCFS has started making that transition, thinking smarter, looking at performance measures, looking at outcomes, knowing that it's not just about throwing money on the problem, but about focused efforts and community organizations and partnerships and results. getting communities involved, needing to make it easier for people to involve, reducing the barriers to adoption and to permanency for our families. In the end, it's about the child in our care. How can we ensure that that child spends as little time as they have to in the system, and that when they leave our care, they have those family connections that are so important? DCFS today is recommitting its faith in families, and with the help of our community, our stakeholders, law enforcement, the judicial branch, and the faith-based community and other community organizations like here today, we can achieve these goals and with help provide a bright future for these youth in our state. Foster care is not about a permanent end. It's about a transition. It's about finding families. It's about working with families. It's about working in community in partnership. And it's about ensuring, again, that all of our children have a permanent connection when they exit our system. Thank you.
I serve as the president of the Baptist Children's Home. We are one of the partnering agencies with DCFS. We've established the Louisiana Baptist Foster and Adoption Network. We have about 1,600 churches across our state, and we're helping those churches understand how important these children are, how they can support those children, and we're just glad to be a partner with DCFS in this wonderful program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I think our kids are thrilled about this opportunity. I think kids know they all want a family. They all want a family connection. We met a wonderful young man in the New Orleans area who immediately, when he had the opportunity, immediately wanted to connect back to his family. And we continue to look for more and more families to work with our children. We think that's going to be absolutely critical going forward.
We, the Louisiana Baptist Children's Home, we are a licensed child placing agency, but we are reaching out to our churches throughout the state to share the message of the need of foster and adopted homes for over 4,000 children that are in foster care. Over 300 children are in foster care without an adoptive family, and it's our goal that each and every one of these children have a permanent, forever family.
When you try to recruit families to become foster parents and adoptive parents, what are some of the goals that you're looking for in each family?
First of all, we're looking for commitment, stability, unconditional love, and that the child's best interest is always at the forefront.
What kind of reaction have you had from families that have adopted children?
They say it is a wonderful, wonderful experience, that opening your heart and your home to a child is one of the greatest blessings that they've ever experienced.
What's your reaction to the new initiative announced here today?
We're very excited about the new initiative. We've had a partnership with DCFS since 2009, and it has worked beautifully. People are excited. They want to get on board. The communities are coming together because these are our children. These are our Louisiana children, and it's our goal to share the message throughout the state that we must all come together for the children of our state.
We get foster parents together for support and for each other, and we work with the agency to make foster parenting a better environment.
What's your reaction to the new initiative announced here today?
I am very proud of the new initiative. I think anything that can be done to reduce the number of children in foster care would be the best thing in the world, and to make permanent connections for these children would be wonderful.
What kind of reaction have you had to families that have decided to become foster or adoptive parents?
Being a foster parent is a hard job, but it's a very rewarding job. Your heart goes out for these children, and we do the best we can for them. So foster parenting is a difficult job, but it is a very rewarding job for anybody that wants to step up and do it.
What's the criteria for someone to become a foster or an adoptive parent?
We work with many, many families. The first thing they have to do is say they're interested, and clearly we want families who are interested in fostering to adoption. That way the child has that stability going through that, but they just have to indicate that they're interested. We work with them. Of course, we have to do criminal background checks and make sure that they're safe places to place our children, but we provide training and assistance, and we'll give families the tools that they need to be successful.
What kind of feedback have you had from families that have become foster parents and adoptive parents?
I have never heard anything negative about the wonderful experiences that our families have. They love sharing their love with children. They love giving the opportunity to be part of kids' success. And so often you just hear great stories of how they've integrated into their families. Sometimes families adopt more than one children. Sometimes they have their own children and they adopt our children. And it's just great stories that you hear from families around the state.
Are you encouraged by the potential this program offers?
I'm extremely encouraged, and I also think it is the right thing to do. Our kids deserve safe and strong families. They really do. And many of the kids that we serve have been abused or neglected. This is through no fault of their own. And so the more we can do to find families to work with or to get them reunified to their own family where it's safe, where they can do so, is critical.
I have been a foster parent for almost 30 years now, and I do teenage girls, and I've fostered over 65 teenage girls through the years. So my experience is very in a very wide range of children, but I deal with emotionally and behaviorally challenged children.
If people are watching this and think they might be interested in becoming a foster or an adoptive parent or would just like more information, what should they do?
I would encourage anyone to go to our website, www.dcfs.la.gov/adoption. They can get all the information they want about training. You can also get information about kids who today are freed for adoption and are looking for a home today. We have just over 600 kids today who are looking for a permanent home, who are ready to be adopted. Many do have foster to adoptive placements that they're in, but others have no alternatives.